So my name is Lauren. I was formerly Sweats in the City, and now I'm just Lauren Pryor. And I help coaches and small businesses with the systems within their business when it comes to marketing and launching. So today I'm going to continue on my talk with Airtable. Airtable is a new tool that I found and I am completely obsessed with. I've been using it probably since the new year. So January in my business, I have converted all of my clients to start using it. It is a great way for us to manage everything that needs to get done, including your social media. So today I'm going to talk about how to use Airtable to manage your social media. So this is if you have like so many ideas and you need to put them down somewhere, or maybe you like have trouble creating ideas and you need some structure and framework to come up with them so that you can create this content so that you're able to consistently show up on social media. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to go into my example Airtable. So here we have my Airtable from what I completed last session. So if you missed that, you may want to go back because I talk about how I created this, how Airtable lets you create different not formulas, but different like sections, different columns, and how just like what's preset in there. And it's just so valuable and can save you so much time when it comes to organizing your stuff, but also save you so much time with being creative with the content that you want to make. And now I'm going to teach you how to save time on how to organize that and make sure that each month you're showing up and consistently sharing that information. So here's our example of the social media tab here. You notice that Airtable has these different tabs. And so these are all different spreadsheets. And then within the spreadsheets, you can create different views. So when you go into a base like this, it has a bunch of different tables and then with the tables, different views. So that's something to remember because it's in Google Docs. It doesn't work that way. You have like a spreadsheet, and here you can have multiple and then view each one. So it's way more powerful. And then you only need one space to organize everything. But anyways, I digress. Let's go into just review this grid view of the social media content that I created last time. I'm going to make myself small. So here we have the headline. So that's the first record, which is important because you can't switch this out. So you always want to make sure that this is something that identifies what it is that's going to be the continuing of the line. So for this, the headline, it's going to be the headline of your social media, but maybe in another one, you want it to be your task, or perhaps it's a date. It's all dependent on how you want to organize everything. But it's just remember to know that once this is in here, you can't flip it around. So these ones I can exchange. This one, it's the ID of that line, and you can't change it. From here, I put theme, and this is a multiple select, and so you can choose which one it is. I put nutrition, workouts, kids food, and then you could add something else in like fashion, maybe if that's something that you talked about all the time. Strategy. So education, so you're educating, connection, how to, promotion. Again, this is all dependent on you. You could put launching in there if you're creating content specifically for a launch period. Copy, so this is what's in the content. Call to actions, always super important. So you want to keep track of maybe you're calling to action just to comment or like it or go to somewhere else, or you're promoting. Again, I like having it in there because it's so important to have in the captions that if I put a square in there for myself to put something, I'll make sure that I do it. Platform, so Instagram, email, where is this showing up? Status, again, it's a drop down of idea in progress complete, due date, and launch date. So that's what we're working with today. So sometimes I only have one, so just have like the launch date of this to make sure that it's like, because in my head, I know that it has to be complete before the day that it's launched. Having a due date and a launch date, that's up to you depending on how you want to work. If you want to make sure everything's due by the end of the month, so the next month you can just like plan it out and launch it, that's great. If you want to be like more simple, like how I work, just one launch date. And then I know that I have to make sure everything is done before that. So here we are, grid view. What we're going to do is go down and pick calendar. So just add calendar, and automatically it's going to create this calendar for you that's like current. And then you want to use the date, either due date or launch date. So let's use launch date. And then it's going to update it for you. Hopefully, no, it took me somewhere else. Launch date, done. And so it pulled all the information from the grid view and updated it in the calendar with launch date. So in the grid view, I have 2, and the launch date's February 12th, February 15th calendar, February 12th, February 15th. So now you have an overview of when you're going to post. So maybe your goal is to post 3 days a week, then you could just make sure that it happens. So let's just say that we're starting on the 3rd. So I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to drag and drop to make sure that that's where they are. Then I go back to my grid view, and it's going to update the launch date for me. So they talk to each other, which I think is just so cool. And so if you have a whole bunch of content done, it will end up like a content done that doesn't have the launch date record. It will be over here. So for example, workouts with your kids. And I'll just leave this. I'll put idea because it will. IG, education, theme, workouts. I don't know why I had to fill it out in that order. So due date, we'll just not have that one, and then we're going to leave that blank as well. So we're going to leave both of these blank. Then we go to our calendar. We're going to find it up here. So it has no date. So what we can do is take it and drag it and drop to next Monday, since you are going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that is actually what I would do. For social media only. Now, I would have a due date when you start building out into a launch calendar and you know you need to have things done before it launches. Social media, if it's lead generation, it's a bit more flexible. That's like how I like to manage it. So maybe you just have a launch date on your social media. If it's something with actually launching a product, especially if you're working with other people and you have responsibilities that are due and I have responsibilities that are due, then I think the due date is more effective. But for social media, for lead generation, knowing that you want to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday consistently, I would just have a launch date. So back to our calendar. So now we have all of these out. And then if you double click on them, you are able to expand the whole record. And it's going to have all the things that the grid view had. And you can go in and you can update things here, leave it blank if you want to. And if you update it here, it will update it all in the other calendar. So from here, if you want this calendar to talk with, say, your Google Calendar, that's how I have it set up. So it doesn't show up at a time. It shows up at the very top of the page if you're looking at your Google Calendar, or the very top of the day. You go share view, create a shareable calendar link, and then go sync to an external calendar. Then you take this and then you go into your Google Calendar and go add a calendar and then put this link in, and these will all show up on the days that you want to post. The other cool thing is that in this view or your grid view, whatever one you want, if you want to add the attachment, which apparently I missed, so we're going to add a field. It's going to be an attachment. We'll just call this attachment. Create field. And so if I have the document or the image on my computer that I want to put in the attachment from Instagram or whatever it may be, I can just pick something and drag and drop it there. And then when I go to this view and I expand it, then one hidden view, the attachment will show up here. And then when you sync it with your calendar, you will get a reminder if you set it up on your calendars about this posting, and it will include that attachment and the copy. So it's super easy for you to take that image and then upload it yourself to Instagram if that's where you want to do. If you're more of a, I want to use something to like pre-plan my stuff, like Planoly or later, I find that this way to organize your ideas is just so much easier than looking at the Planoly screen. And so from here, you can either do it yourself, or maybe you have a VA that helps you. You plan it out here and then they upload it into Planoly, or you plan out the content here. Or organize your content here and then upload everything into Planoly so that it can like pre-send out. So it's just you're kind of batch working your stuff. Okay, guys, that is all I'm going to share with today. I am going to do another one on this that is going to go into the Kanban view, which is another view that I really like with social media, a different way that you could organize stuff. Obviously, you don't have to do all of these. I'm just throwing out ideas for you. I know we all work differently and we all like to see things differently of what needs to be done or what has to be done. And I like having different frameworks because I believe that within a framework, it's easier to be creative and it's easier to create content and know what you have to do. So if you like this video, please drop a line below or leave a comment below or just say hi or a thumbs up if you're watching. If you're checking the replay, give me a thumbs up as well. I love making this content for you guys and I hope you enjoyed it.